Hello everyone, welcome to Clarity Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me. Thank you for coming by. And today's pick a card question is going to be, what would a tarot reader tell them about you? So let's say someone you know were to get a private reading about you, or maybe even a pick a card reading. What would that person let them know about you? So take a moment and observe the three piles. Actually, we don't have piles yet, we just have items. I'm going to shuffle live on camera for this one. My last video that I uploaded a few days ago, all of those piles were random, but one of them seemed so... I went back and watched it. It was the first pile in What You Need to Release, and it seemed, even to myself, a little bit staged. So I was kind of anticipating there might be some people out there that are like, is this real? I don't know. So I thought I would do all the shuffling live for these three instead of putting the piles out. So that's what we'll be doing today. It will take a little bit longer, but you will see kind of my process. So again, there's three piles. The first pile is this honey, which, look at that beautiful color on that. Then we have this sage bundle. And pile 3 is this feather. Timestamps are in the description box below. Take a look and I will see you at your pile. And let's start with pile 1. Hello, pile 1. If you chose this honey, this will be your reading. All right, so I think for you, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Divine deck. So we are asking Spirit, what would a tarot reader say about pile 1? So in this reading, I'm going to be talking as if you're the subject of the reading. So let's say I lay out the Queen of Wands. I'll say this person is like the Queen of Wands. And when I say this person, I'm going to be relating, that's going to be about you. Does that make sense? Because the person I'm talking to, who's clicking on this and watching pile 1 for you would be somebody else. I hope that's not too confusing. I'll try to refer to it as I go, but basically everything I say, when I say this person, that means you, the viewer. Got it? Got it. All right, first card out we have is Page of Swords. What would a tarot reader say? Move all these up a little bit. And actually, why don't we keep this jar of honey in the screen so you know what reading it is. Wouldn't that be smart? Okay, let's see if we get 1 or 2 more. So far out we have the Page of Swords, Death, upright, the Hangman upright, the Hierophant in reverse, Page of Coins upright, 4 of Swords reverse, 3 of Coins reverse, 5 of Cups upright, and Strength. I also want to pull a few from my messages deck here. So what would a tarot reader say about you? I'll wait for you. We have forever to look forward to. I will never let go. I admire and respect you. And you are my forever. Okay. Let's see. Where can I put these where you can see everything? Maybe I'll move these up a little bit. All right. Pile 1. What would a tarot reader say about you? Now I'm going to start talking about you in, would that be the third person? So, this person you're asking about, they're very focused on you. They are also very sad about what's going on between you. They're trying to see things from a different perspective, not be so traditional or narrow in the way that they look at things. They're also trying to be as lighthearted as possible and take things a step at a time, but they're really struggling with that because they have this 5 of Cups here, which is a card of grief. 3 of Coins reversed. They may have distanced themselves a bit from just associating with other people, been a little bit more inward. 4 of Swords reversed, been a little bit stuck in their minds. But look at this combination of cards that came up. Even though it's a struggle for them, this relationship with you, they feel very, very connected to you. They want something really positive to happen here. With I'll never let go, you're my forever, I'll wait for you, we have forever to look forward to, and that's 2 forever cards. With the Hierophant reverse, I mean, the Hierophant upright is often a card about marriage or long-term commitment. So when it's reversed, and next to the Hanged Man, which is about willingly putting yourself in a different position to think about things differently, I think this is a person maybe that has traditionally been very focused on long-term commitment and being, you know, with one person, finding their lobster, so to say, if you're a Friends fan. And this person is releasing that mindset to some degree. It's still natural for them, but they're trying to be open-minded and see where this relationship goes with you. At the back of the deck, we have Strength, which behind that is the 9 of Wands. Ooh, look at this juicy back of the deck. Behind that, we have the Moon in reverse, and then 6 of Coins in reverse, 10 of Coins. So this person has a lot of strength within them, and this situation is causing them to rely on all of it. They're having to go through some really significant changes. I actually want to clarify this Death card. I'm going to set these messages aside for the moment so you can see the tarot a little bit better. And tell me more about this Death card. And for this, I'm just using my playing card deck, the Russian criminal playing cards. This is, even though it's not technically a tarot deck, it's what I learned to read tarot on. All right, sorry about that background noise. Anyway, what I was saying is this playing card deck is how I first learned to read tarot. I just learned with a playing card deck, which of course doesn't have major arcana in it, but you can still learn about the different meanings and etc. So we are clarifying the Death card. So Spirit, why is this Death card in the reading? Eight of Cups, leaving something behind that's been difficult. Yeah. So this has been really painful for this person, this process, this death process. And what I'm getting has been the change for them is they've had to look at the balance in their relationships of how much they offer versus how much they get back, and realize that that's kind of out of whack. I mean, look at all these Cups cards we have here, and then with the 10 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles, which is kind of the giving card to me. So I would say because of the message cards that came out, again, you're my forever, I admire and respect you, I'll never let go, I'll wait for you, we have forever to look forward to. This is the mindset that this person is holding on to, and they're feeling like the deeper parts of their soul and their spiritual path pulling them away from being that loving, giving, understanding, and unconditionally supportive. They're learning, this is a kind of a strange message, but it's like they're learning conditional love in a way, which can also be considered self-love. And what I mean by that is you can unconditionally love somebody, but not keep them in your life, not allow them if they're damaging you, or if it's just not a healthy situation for each of you. So this person is recognizing that love isn't everything, love isn't enough, that even though they have so much love and passion within them that they thought would be enough for both of the people here, they're realizing that's not true. They don't have love enough for both people, and there's nothing they can do to change you, who are getting the reading for this person. So what else can I tell you about this person? I already talked a bit about the Strength card. So I'm wondering if this might be you. But this person that you're wanting a reading about, they're this woman figure here who is taming the crocodile in the lion costume. But you can see that even though there's a lot of strength in her and fierceness, it's quite a gentle process. That's what this person is learning. They're finding their stainless steel backbone and refusing to be mistreated. It's bringing up a lot of grief for them. Again, they're kind of taking some time away to be able to assimilate this within themselves. But the cards promise that they will get there and actually embody what you see here. Let's see, what else? What can you tell me about this person, the subject of pile 1 that we're reading about? What else about this person? Seven of Wands with the Nine of Cups. Whoop. 10 of Cups. This person, 3 Wands at the bottom. This person's a dreamer. They have a lot of aspirations. They know what they want and who they want, and they have a lot of love to give. I mean, again, look at all these Cups cards we have here. Half of them are out here on the deck, on the board, practically. There's a message here for you. I mean, you're asking about this person. They are the embodiment of the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate emotional happiness, fulfillment. But they're very defensive right now. There's something that you've done that has really hurt this person deeply. So Spirit's coming through to give you a message that you might want to consider how you're valuing. I mean, think of this person as a resource, right? The way that they're coming through is as a very valuable resource, particularly in the emotional and spiritual realm. They have a lot to give, more than they give more than they should, perhaps. They absolutely adore you, are committed to you, are willing to change some things about themselves, and are the embodiment of emotional fulfillment. But they're very defensive right now. So why would they be defensive? Let's just clarify that real quick. Why is this person defensive? I'm getting that would be against you. So why are they defensive towards you? Seven of Pentacles. With the Queen of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, Two of Swords. Six of Cups at the bottom. So at some point, your behavior towards them has been inconsistent. There's been at least one other person in your life that you've been trying to build with, or maybe you already have built some kind of foundation with, and you're of two minds about who you should really invest in. Even though you're clear, like you know that this person is a soulmate for you. So the person that you're asking about, they somehow know that you know this. I don't know if you've talked about it or they just have an intuitive sense. And so they feel defensive towards you and they don't trust you because you know, put yourself in their shoes. You know how somebody feels about you, but they're not saying it, they're not doing anything, they're not treating you well, they're not taking the actions that, you know, if a priceless gift was dropped on your doorstep and you don't take the actions to guard that and treat it appropriately, that would make you distrustful and defensive. It'd be like, you know, someone drops $1 million in front of your front door and you're just like, oh, I'll get it later. I'll bring it inside tomorrow. I don't feel like going outside right now. Like, what? Or shoveling it in the fireplace or using it to warm you up if you're cold. You know, you get the drift. So Spirit's being a little bit cheeky with you about this person. It's good that you're asking about them because this seems like a great opportunity for you. So let me clear this, and now I want to pull advice. Do I want to do this? Yeah, I guess I do. Advice for for you regarding this person. So, and just checking in again to make sure you're following this because it can be a little confusing. So that whole reading, all of that was about you, the viewer. And now I'm going to pull advice for who would be getting a tarot reading on you based on that reading. Wow. Let's splash the pot. So, let's clear these also. Okay, so advice for you. How should you be approaching this person who's defensive towards you because of the way that you've approached them in the past? This is interesting advice. Nine of Cups reversed. With the Five of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands reversed, and Page of Cups reversed. This is kind of funny. So how should you approach this person? It's saying don't approach them, actually. It's saying defend yourself, look at your own illusions, defend yourself from this person, go extremely slow, work things out with your soulmate relationship. And the reason it's saying that is because, starting with the Five of Swords, so Five of Swords is about winning at any price. It also can have a lot to do with ego issues, or to me, it's like past childhood trauma to deal with. And so I think what it's saying is get yourself sorted, figure out what you want and who you are before you do anything related to this person that you're getting a tarot reading about. So it's great that you want to know what's happening with them, but focus on your damn self is the message here. All right. So that's your reading, pile one. So I hope that was interesting for you and wasn't too confusing. Please let me know. I'd be really curious on this one how that went for you. Leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in another reading. Thank you so much. Okay, pile two. If you picked this bundle of sage, this will be your reading. And we are asking Spirit if they got a tarot reading on you, what would a tarot reader say about you? So in a moment, I will be speaking about this person I'm getting a reading on, which is you, the viewer. I'm hoping it won't be too confusing. And we'll just see. We'll see how we go. At times, I may refer to you, which would be the person who's getting the reading, not you as the viewer. Again, hope that makes sense. So here we go. All right, pile two. Okay, I'm doing a tarot reading for you today on this person that you're interested in. So let's see. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile two's person? Stack here. Okay, we have a lot of major arcana. We have Justice, upright, the Tower, Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant reversed, King of Wands reversed, the Emperor, Eight of Cups reversed, and the Devil reversed. I'm going to pull a few messages from my messages deck here. So what else can you tell me about this person? I also want to clarify that Hierophant in reverse. It's giving me a weird vibe. All right. For pile 2, what can you tell me about the person we're doing a reading on? Apologies, this deck is very difficult to shuffle. I still think I'm right. It's the first card out. Tell me all your hopes and fears. I want to hold you all night. And 2 more. Bottom of the deck is I couldn't be who you needed. I'm sorry in reverse. You're my forever in reverse. Really, I want a parent, not a partner. Okay. I'm going to clarify a couple things. I want to clarify the Hierophant in reverse. For this, I'm just using my Russian playing card deck. Why is the Hierophant reverse in this reading? Why is the Hierophant reversed in this reading? Oh, that's a stack. Do I want to take all those? I guess so. There's the King of Wands showing up again. Maybe I should clarify the King of Wands also reversed. 2 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, and really I want a parent, not a partner. Okay. 2 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords with 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Win at all costs. Okay. This person is quite angry at you. And I'm actually going to clear a little bit of this so you can see it a little bit better, hopefully. What's interesting, though, is Justice is coming out upright for them. So I'm getting that they have right to be angry. What did you do to this person? The Devil in reverse. They're not feeling attached or codependent in this relationship with you whatsoever, whatever kind of relationship it is. They have let go. We have next, yep, 6 of Swords, the Hangman, 4 of Swords reversed, the Fool reversed. This person won't be taking any forward movement towards you anytime soon. If you're waiting for a message from this person, it's not happening. There's a lot of embodied masculine energy here. When we have the King of Wands reversed, the Emperor upright, the Justice card, which I think of, there's a woman here, I think of it as a pretty masculine energy. It's very logical and matter of fact. The Tower, something crumbling down and starting over. Actually, let's also clarify the Tower real quick. Okay, with the Ace of Pentacles. Isn't that crazy? So, whereas, and we have 4 wands at the bottom of the deck. So, I'm getting the normal way that this person deals with relationships is giving a new start over and over and over and over. Like, we're committed to each other. You're my friend. We'll be friends forever. Let's work it out. Whatever's happened here, they are no longer in that mindset with you. They're not open to that. I'm getting with this tell me all your hopes and fears card. I want to hold you all night. They do want to understand you. They want some emotional intimacy with you. They just don't believe that that's possible. Again, with the Hierophant reversed as well and the King of Wands reversed. They want, with this Two of Cups card, clarifying the King of Wands, they want to be in a relationship that is a true partnership, that's mutual, that feels like the other person has got their back. This person has no belief that you have their back. I still think I'm right. Really want a parent, not a partner. Parent, not a partner is clarified over here. Or actually, that was the one that was clarified by the Two of Cups, as well as the Knight of Pentacles. I'm getting here that it's not like they want you to parent them, but they want someone that's going to be like really stable in their lives. They don't have to be in a parent-child dynamic with. Does that make sense? It's almost like the opposite. Like they don't want to be scolding you if you act a fool with them or if you hurt their feelings or whatever. They want to be able to be themselves without having to always take the high road. Despite this, they are having some trouble walking away and leaving this behind completely. But let's say a 10 out of 10 would be like this person's long gone, like don't even try knocking. I'd say I'd put them at an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's pretty close. If you have any interest whatsoever in salvaging something with this person, your window of opportunity is quickly closing. Let me see what else I can get here about like this person's character. We already learned a little bit that they prefer to give unlimited chances, to be committed and loyal and consistent with people, but for some reason that's created a lot of pain for them with you. I almost wonder if you've experienced this person like this. So you see this Justice card. I don't know if you can, how clearly you can see her eyes, but it almost looks like she's blind. It doesn't look like she has any like irises in her eyes. She's holding this sword. She's got an owl here, which I take to mean wisdom. She has this balanced pendulum, as well as some kind of bust here, these flowing robes. So, okay, so if we were to describe this person you're asking about as the Justice card, they are beautiful, fair, elegant, and maybe a little ruthless. Not unforgiving, but fair. So what would be a good example of this? This person is going to evaluate all the people and all the dynamics involved, and they will deliver a sound judgment. I mean, this person is like a judge who would sit in a courtroom and gather all the evidence and then give a fair ruling. So I'm also getting that maybe you've experienced this person as a bit cutting at times with their words or their actions. That can sometimes happen with, the hand of justice. It's not always the most, let's say, empathetic or compassionate, because that's not the point, right? The point is that the right thing gets done, that the just thing gets done. And this person, in the end, will always do the just thing. You can rely on that and their personality. So I think that's a lot of where their anger is coming from towards you. You're forcing them, this is their experience now, okay? You're forcing them to be cold, cutting, and heartless, so to speak, with you, where they would prefer to be compassionate, empathetic, tell me all your hopes and fears, turn that you are my forever upright, and be really connected to you. But they see how that leads to heartbreak and pain, how it makes the tower fall, how it just burns them out in every way, creates unhealthy connections. So they're no longer, they've seen that evidence and they've made a ruling. So I think the only way for you to reverse this situation, Pile 2, would be to bring new evidence. And evidence is not likely to be words. It's more likely to be actions, and consistent actions over a long period of time. if there's one thing I think of about justice, or tend to know about justice, is that justice loves a record of, you know, what the transgressions have been and what the atonement has been for them. So let's say, pretend your relationship with this person is a court case. Let's say, here's an example, you got a DUI. So, I'm not even exactly sure how this works, but let's say you got a DUI and you wait a few weeks for a court date. And in that amount of time, you go to the court date, and so it's been 3 weeks, you show up and you say, absolutely, what I did was wrong. There's no excuse for it. And since that time, I've cleared my entire home of alcohol. I've started the 12 steps. I've joined this, and this group. I've been doing volunteering with you know, survivors of, let's say, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers or something. You know, it's that kind of approach that would be effective with this person if you want to retain this person in your life. And again, they're at an 8 or 9 out of 10 in terms of being gone. Whew, this is a fiery one. I'm getting all amped up reading about this person. So, okay, let me see if there's anything else any other question I want. So we answered the question, what would a tarot reader say about this person, which is here. We actually answered a bit about how to approach this person if you'd like to repair things. Now I want to know, this might be kind of funny, but we'll see what happens. I want to know from this deck, what would be the magic words with this person that would, let's say, soften them from being the long arm of justice in this situation. And I wonder if you can hear the piano in the background. My upstairs neighbor is practicing. I'm hoping it's not too distracting, but sorry if it is. Okay, so what would be the best message to deliver to this person you're asking about that would be the best received? Let's see what we get. This is kind of tricky to shuffle, but I guess it's kind of interesting. I'm thinking as I'm shuffling, it's interesting that the music started just when I asked that question. Maybe part of what you could do would be to send them music. Music has a way of hitting us at a different emotional level than just words. So that might be something that could sink in for them a little bit differently. I'm not getting anything. Maybe there's no words that you can use. Maybe it wouldn't be, maybe it's not, maybe words would not be effective here. I don't think I've never had this happen before where there's literally nothing that's going to come. I'll give it another second here or two. Anything that you want to say about the approach that would be helpful with this person? 3, 2, oh, I got 1. I feel so embarrassed. Do we have trust in reverse? And this is driving me crazy. Okay, so here's your best shot with this person. I am so ashamed of myself and the way that I treated you. There's no excuse for what I did. I know that the trust has totally been broken here, and I take responsibility for this, and I feel so tortured that you're not in my life and that I did this to you because it wasn't fair. So in order to build trust again, I know it's going to take a long time. I'm willing to be patient and very consistent and go slowly, and I'd like to understand from you how we should start that, and if you're even open to starting that. And again, by the way, I feel ashamed and embarrassed, and you didn't deserve the way I treated you. So just with the way that happened, because it took so long, I'm getting that maybe you should wait a little while before delivering this message, for this person to sublimate some of the ire that they have about the situation. And in the meantime, you can perhaps find other ways to try to approach them through music. I mean, really anything besides words, actions, physical touch. What are the love languages? Acts of service. Memes. Is memes a love language? But yeah, so I think that's your reading, pile 2. All right, pile 2, I'm speaking back to you now, the viewer. I hope that made sense for you and wasn't too confusing and that you enjoyed that. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe. Let me know if you did or if you didn't. And if you're able to follow it, okay, I'm really curious. And I will see you in another reading. Thanks so much. All right, pile 3, if you chose this feather, here is your reading. Let's put that over there. And we're going to ask Spirit, if someone were to get a tarot reading about you, what would that tarot reader say about you? So we're going to shuffle this live on camera so you can see everything that comes out. And here we go. So I'm going to speak about you in the third person from now on. So when I say this person, that's referring to you. At some time, I might refer to the viewer or the person who's asking for the reading, and that would be either whoever you have in mind or just, you know, the general public, how they might view you or relate to you, etc. So I'm hoping this will work and won't be too confusing. We will find out together. Okay, so for pile 3, here we go. What can you tell me about pile 3? Oh. Temperance is the first card out. Ten of Wands reversed. Page of Wands reversed. The Moon. Two of Cups reversed, Six of Coins reversed, Two of Swords reversed, Seven of Wands reversed, and the Tower. Wow. I'm going to pull from my Enneagram Messages deck, which I made myself. Let's see, what else can you tell me about this person? I'm not going to take these because it's a huge stack, but it has career advice in the top, which is interesting because it's not supposed to be in that deck. So from that, I'm getting this person's career is very important to them. There's a lot of changes happening in their career right now that really impact how they are experienced by people. Okay, we have a gift of the 6, awakeness, judgment, and solidity. Defense of the 9, narcotization, and then the message from the 9, let it be, in reverse. Bottom of the deck we have message from type 5, use your head. Okay, this person that you're asking about is just coming through a very difficult time. Actually, sorry, pause. I want to clarify a couple cards. I want to clarify 2 Cups reversed. I also want to clarify the 6 of Coins reversed. Okay, why is the 2 of Cups reversed in this reading? The 5 of Swords reversed. Why is the 6 of Coins reversed in this reading? The Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. This person is laying their burdens down and they're doing some deep inner reflection. They have had a pattern in the past. This actually kind of feels like pile 1, but pile 1 plus, I don't know, 2 to 5 years, I would say. So if you watch them both, it might be interesting to see kind of the progression. this person has recognized their patterns and relationships of overgiving, of letting repressed thoughts and emotions and childhood experiences to help them, have them be easily illusioned by people. How do I want to say that? This is something that they've healed within themselves. They've noticed a past pattern where they idolize people or put them on a pedestal when maybe that person didn't deserve that, or maybe they were being manipulated. Not that these are terrible people, but they see things much more clearly than they ever did before. And in that, they see very clearly how much they have been a person who strives to support others, to do for others, to be the one that pursues the acceptance, the healing, the forgiveness, the reconciliation. I think in the past it was easy to emotionally manipulate this person, because if you would make them feel really bad or guilty about something, for example, they would come running to you and be like, let's work this out. I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean that. You took me the wrong way, but I'll take full responsibility for everything. That person is gone. This person now, it's interesting. What's brought about this change for them is they realize that they don't need to be defensive anymore. They don't need to go back and forth in their mind anymore. They're more connected to themselves. They've connected to these repressed thoughts and feelings, to their own inner child, to the different ways of looking at things. And so they no longer need to go back and forth in their brain, which also makes them more difficult to manipulate because they're very clear about what their own viewpoint is. With the Two of Cups reversed and the Six of Coins reversed, so I'm getting that this is the final stages of the process for them, where they're just now coming out of this and being able to create healthy partnerships again. And that's coming through their forgiveness and through their holding back on offering all of themselves, all of their love, all of their affection, all of their nurturing up front. They're realizing that maybe it's smarter to wait a tick before they do that. They're seeing things very, very clearly. Again, with the use your head and the awakeness, judgment, solidity. Maybe this is a person that was very connected to their body and their heart in the past, but not as much their mind. Not to say that this person isn't smart. I think they're very intelligent. But again, this is an Enneagram thing. I think it's interesting that I picked up the Enneagram deck for this one. But probably this person is either a heart type or a gut type person. So that'd be 2, 3, 4 or 8, 9, 1. And whichever center you're in, there's usually one that's your main center, that's what your type is in, and then a secondary one, and one that's more repressed. And for this person that I'm talking about here, their head center, types 5, 6, and 7, have been more repressed. But you see here, we have a 5 energy and a 6 energy. Both, one's a gift and one's a message that's like the mantra of that type. You're coming through a very hard time. So we have the Tower upright as the theme of, what should I tell you about this person? Their whole life has been in upheaval. And they've had to just do some of that dismantling themselves with the message of the 9 reversed. The way that they've dealt with that hasn't been, the healthiest it could be. So narcotization is numbing out, basically, which you can do with TV, you can do with bonbons, you can do with over-exercise, overwork, alcohol, other substances, sex. Some kind of codependent behavior has been getting them through this, but they're looking to release this, actually. It's not something that is a forever part of their pattern, but it's almost like they noticed these patterns of codependency within themselves, and as they were removing those parts of codependency in their relationships, they saw a flare of codependent behaviors elsewhere. Does that make sense? So let's say you're super codependent in a relationship and you're like, this relationship has to go. It's unhealthy. And so you get rid of the relationship, and then what happens? Well, maybe you start obsessively playing games on your phone, or whatever, which is a codependent behavior, and also narcotization. So that's been happening for this person, but it's part of their healing and actually isn't something really that they should feel too bad about or take too personally, as if it defines them in some way. It's a circumstantial and temporary negative impact of them kind of moving through this energy. This is a very strong person. Look at Temperance. I don't know if you know the meaning of this card, Temperance, but it's total balance, total harmony. It's also a Sagittarius card, so you might be dealing with a Sagittarius. This person could be a Sagittarius. Let's see. I want to ask, so this person you're asking about, how do they feel about you? Because I'm not really seeing you show up in this reading. It's all about them, which makes sense. I mean, it seems like it should be that way because they've gone through some kind of major upheaval. So how does this person feel about you that we're asking about? How do they feel about you, the person asking a tarot reader about them? How does this person feel about you? This person's, they're into you. They bring a lot of light into their life, but they also have this big sword. They have some truth to deliver to you if you come their way again. They're also a little bit unsure because they're not sure what they're going to get with you if you do show up. So with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Pentacles plus the Seven of Cups, they would proceed very slowly with you. They'd want to see... watch your actions, not your words. And they would be very particularly interested. They have a sense that there's something about you that isn't independent or self-sufficient emotionally, that there's some kind of way that you would try to draw them in that wouldn't be unhealthy. So they have a particular concern about that. But in general, they very much like you, and they'd be interested to take things slowly, one step at a time. I'm almost getting more of a Seven of Wands vibe with this Ace of Swords, which is like, you come close, I'll cut you, kind of. They're wanting to maintain the ground they've gotten. They're not wanting to backslide in any way whatsoever. So if they get any hint that interacting with you will cause them to regress, that'll be bye-bye. Okay, so I think that's your reading, pile 3. I hope that made sense and it was easy enough to follow about you, and congrats on your journey and what you've been through. Seriously, that it's really intense, and I could just see all the work that you've done. So congratulations to you. Keep it up, keep going. It really seemed like all of the kind of the bad times were just wrapping up. You're just in the tail end if you haven't left it behind completely already. So please like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye-bye.